Professional wedding and portrait photographers, I'm going to show you how to design a professional album, whether you want to fully automate your design or have full control. Let's dive into this tutorial. Every album you design will start the same. First, you will want to start a new project or open a previous project that you have already created. To start a new project, click the Start New Project button. Name your project. Most likely you'll want to use your client's name. Next, you'll want to import your photos. We recommend importing approximately the amount of photos you want to design an album, maybe a little bit more. For example, don't import 1,000, 2,000 photos. Import a couple hundred, maybe 300 if you're designing a big album of 100+ pages. You'll notice the import process is a lot faster than in version 10, and that's because of the updated M2 and 3 support. After importing your photos, you'll be given the option to auto-apply skin retouching from Perfectly Clear. We highly recommend doing this as it is very subtle and makes your images pop. Our favorite is the Intelligent Retouch. Click Retouch, and that's it. 300+ photos are being retouched in the background right now. And if you want to undo that retouching, just go up to the Pro Enhancements, click Retouch Photos, and that will open up the retouch wizard, and you can remove the skin retouching on one photo and then select all and batch remove it on all of the photos. In this first pass of the album design, I'm going to show you how to use the basic and advanced options to fully automate designing an album. For the basic options, just choose your dimension, whether it be square, vertical, horizontal, or a studio magazine. Next, choose your cover style, cutout, metallic, etc. And these are just generic settings, and you can later go in and choose your professional lab and change the sizes, etc. Or you can click advanced options and go ahead and choose your album company, the actual book line, the book size, and the actual cover template. The advantage of this is that it will automatically match your lab specs and you will be good to go. Additionally, you can choose the number of pages you want to design, the design style. Album is your basic classic design, so start with that. And then you can even choose minimum and maximum photos per spread. So let's go ahead and click Design Project, and that will give us the album. Now remember, you can also choose wall art and card designs. We're gonna do a simple wall art design and then thank you cards for the wedding. We won't focus on this in this tutorial, but know that this is there and you can check the other tutorials out. Now let's go ahead and click Design Project. Now we can open the album. One of the main things to understand is there are two separate views. You can view the album, you can view what we call this planner view, and this gives you a view of the entire album. Or you can double click on any page or click the view button and you can view the album spread by spread. And you will see the guidelines and the safe zones, etc. Very important that you understand safe zones and cut lines, so let's take a look at those. The cut line is this pink line, and this is loaded by your lab. And that says that after they make the book, in order to get those really flush pages, they take a guillotine cutter and cut down the edge of the album. So you will lose the very edge. Now this is not an exact process, so they will not cut exactly on that inside edge. So one of the things to keep in mind is that if you have something important, let's go ahead and fill this image, and I'm going to head and zoom this image in just to give you an example, right? So what we don't want to do is have the eye very close or even in that red line right there. Now this green line is what's the safe zone, meaning they will definitely not cut into there. So anything important in the album, we want to keep well within that green line. Now some of the design things you can do, you can grab this top icon, move the pages around. You can click this shuffle button, which will shuffle images. You can click this shuffle icon, which will shuffle designs. And then this icon will bring up the quick design picker, which will allow you to choose different designs. And at any time you can swap images around within a design. And while you can do it in this view, it's much easier if you go into the larger view. You can grab in between photos and make micro adjustments. This is only available in Fundy Designer. This is patented technology, so we hope you love that. Additionally, you can click the X button to remove any spreads, and always remember that when you are moving pages, you can move images between pages. Also, you can swap them, or you can add them by dropping them in between. I don't know if you can see that yellow line in between these photos. When I drop it in there, it will drop into that, and then obviously you can still go in and make design choices, adjustments, etc. Now let's go ahead and click here and give you some ideas of controls. Up at the very top, all of these controls control everything on the entire page. You can add texts, you can add background colors, etc. So for example, let's go ahead and make this an obnoxious album with this beautiful pink background. And that lets you control that entire page, including the layouts. Now, when I click on an image, you will see this big orange box being highlighted. This is called a drop zone. All of the controls on the right side of the drop zone control all images within the drop zone and settings. So for example, I can click this wrench icon and I can increase the spacing within just this drop zone. And spacing, just so you know, if you would like to increase your spacing or add key lines across your entire album, you can do that up at the top at this settings icon. Increase the image spacing. Auto design buffer, same thing, it will increase that design buffer on the edge of the page for those images that are off the page edge. You can add strokes, etc. So let's go ahead and just increase the image spacing, and then I've changed image spacing across the board. Additionally, we can change all of the photos to black and white, back to color, and then there are a bunch of centering options, backgrounds within the drop zones, etc. And then when I click on an individual image, you'll notice at the bottom, this image allows me to zoom in on the image, move it, I can rotate the image, etc. Now let's take a look at image ratios. So for example, I can change this image only to a vertical. This fit and fill will constrain to those ratios. So let's change that to a vertical. Let's change this to a horizontal and change the cropping. So a lot of control on individual images as well as drop zones in general. Now, one of the great things about Fundy Designer is as you're making changes with your clients, if they want to just remove an image, you don't have to worry about redesigning the page. I can just click an image and click delete, and it will auto heal and auto redesign that page. Those are the basics of album design from those basic design standpoints. At this point, if you are happy with this album, you can click the export button, order direct from lab. To order direct from a lab, be sure to click this pencil icon and go up to the very top and choose one of the direct labs. Additionally, we have labs with album covers and templates, and then every single lab in the world. Additionally, you can just export for print, and this will create print-ready JPEGs for your lab. Create a design proof. Now this is under the proofer icon. There'll be a separate tutorial that will show you how to do this, but this allows you to upload an online proof that your client can comment on, and those comments will appear right here in Fundy Designer, right on the side if there are comments from the client, allowing you to make live changes in your software and upload it. The software also allows you to upload a slideshow for your client of the album and images, etc. And additionally, we have a slideshow of the album for showing in person for in-person sales, as well as just uploading a quick slideshow online. And that's how you design a fully automated album. Let me show you how to design a manual album, as well as how to design a semi-automatic album that you have full control over. So let's go ahead and clear this album. Everything's gone. And at this point, you can grab a few images, drop them in, hit the quick design picker, choose the design you want, and then keep grabbing images and drop them in. And remember, this icon right here will open up a separate window that you can put in grid view. If you have a second monitor, you can put this on that other monitor, giving you a larger view, and you can grab images from the second window and drop them in also. So very flexible on how you design. Now let me show you my favorite way to design. Let's clear this album, and I'm going to open this view, and the thumbnails we can make larger and smaller. I'm going to make them smaller since this is a very large album, and we can use these buttons off to the right to tell the auto design what to do. So for example, I can take these photos and hit the G key, and that will group them. And then I can hit this single photo and hit the M key for main image. That photo will be the main image. And let's go down here. So for example, let's take this image, and I'm going to hit the P key and make that a panorama. I'm also going to grab this photo and hit the C key for cover, so it's the cover photo in the album. And you can easily see that by selecting photos and a quick G key and an M key for grouping and making the main image, or a P key for the panorama, you can have a lot of influence over the actual album design. So once you do that, everything is great. Additionally, you see we have stars, and I'll show you when we click the design wizard. I have wall art and cards turned off, so we're only going to design this album. I'm going to replace it. We'll use the same settings as the original album here, entire collection. Now, if you had imported 300 images and you want to only design with the favorites, you could tag 5 stars, or you can use the F key for favorites to tag the hearts, and then you can say only use the 5-star images, or only use the favorite images. And now we are ready to go. And remember, we have tagged those images to be panoramas or covers, etc. When I click Design Project, an instant design to your specifications. So that's the cover photo. Remember, we tagged that photo to be the cover photo. Additionally, let's check the panoramas, right? We tagged this one to be a panorama. Now, one thing that's very interesting, you can see this is the center line of the album, and he is very close to that center line, right? So his face might fall into that crease. These green lines are saying like, hey, this is kind of a dangerous area. Now, the best way to keep him out of that center area is hit this wrench icon and use the zoom feature to zoom in a little bit, and that'll give me a little leeway to move this photo to the left or to the right. And then you can make any final changes, click a photo, delete a photo, and move on. Once your album is finalized, obviously you can export it or proof it or show a slideshow to your client, as we've shown. Additionally, you might have to change it. It's not uncommon for clients to say, I know I said I wanted a square album, but actually I want a horizontal album. That is not a problem. Click the pencil icon. We'll go back up to album size. You can even go up to print company, change the entire print company and not have to redesign the album. I'll choose a 12:8 horizontal, and let's choose this cover type, hit save, and the entire album will be redesigned as a horizontal album, and you won't need to change a thing. Now, obviously, some of the layouts might be a little bit different, so what we might do is we might just combine these 2 pages here. That might look a little bit nicer. Get rid of that page and move through the album, make some micro changes, but you don't have to redesign. Additionally, if your clients want a parent album that's slightly different, you can click the album icon and click the duplicate icon to duplicate that album, and then we can open that copy. Maybe the parents want a square album. Maybe they want a smaller album than the original because it's, they don't want to spend quite that much money. So we've made a duplicate of that copy. And then not only have you made a duplicate, but the design proofer can proof multiple albums all at the same time to your client. So be sure to watch the design proofer tutorial also. I hope this tutorial was helpful and it helps you design bigger and better albums. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more tutorials, and always remember that under the help menu, you have access to all of our tutorials, searchable manuals, and our award-winning support team.